Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope you are all doing well. So on today's episode, we are going to be taking a look at hookup culture. Now, it is no secret, guys, that hookup culture, especially in recent years, has become a lot more common, and it is absolutely terrible for society. Well, unfortunately for a lot of these girls, they realize too late, and they regret things when they come up on 30 years of age. So on today's episode, we're going to be laughing at a few clips, taking a listen to what some individuals on TikTok have to say, and without further ado, guys, let's just jump right in. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
And it went pretty well, except we didn't do anything, and that really threw me for a loop. Like, we've been talking for a while, and even on the date, we got along super well. We talked the whole time, and, yeah, no, we just didn't do anything. Like, we didn't kiss, we didn't hook up, nothing, you know? The date ended, and then we said our goodbyes, and then we continued talking afterwards, and it just really puzzled me. And I realized that's because I haven't had a date in a really, really long time. Not even just a date, just like a regular conversation with someone that I was attracted to that didn't have some kind of like physical undertone.
Let that sink in, guys. So this woman has been dating for what sounds like her entire life, and the way that she has been doing it is just with dudes who didn't really like her back and were only there because of physical needs. Isn't that interesting? Right? And this is, guys, like when girls say stuff like this and they say, you know, oh, like all of the dudes I've previously been with, they didn't care about me, etc. You've got to ask yourself the question, why was she there in the first place? You see, it's all very well and good to have issues with hookup culture and not like it, but guess what? You chose to participate in it, and for a lot of these girls, they choose to participate in it for a very long time.
Like surrounding it. And I've been on dates where I haven't hooked up with the person before, but there's always something more. And I feel like when I'm on Tinder or when I'm talking to a guy, I always have to think like, you know, does he want to sleep with me? If I agree to go to this date, will he be expecting? And that's crazy. Like, I feel like I'm not against hookup culture, but the fact that like before I go on like this kind of date, I have to play this like mind game of like calculus, trying to figure out what someone's intentions are.
It really isn't that difficult. Guys, this is why father figures are so important as well. You know, back in the day, fathers used to preside, for example, over what kind of dudes their daughters and such would be going out with. Nowadays, guys, these women just jump on like Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, name any other degenerate application you want to, and they just go out there and have fun with random dudes. And that's all that it really is a lot of the times, guys. And a lot of these girls, when they get older, they expect to be like wined and dined or like dudes to actually care about them, but they've never considered what men actually want. You know, like they've never actually considered what makes a good, happy, long-term, healthy relationship. Like, and truthfully, guys, a lot of these girls, they really struggle to keep around a dude unless they're offering their body. And even then, the dude won't stick around for too long, typically. At least the dudes who are interested in them, that is.
Disregarding whether or not even I want that myself. Because the date that I went on recently, like, I don't know, I was attracted to him, but like with the kind of vibe and just the things that we were doing, I don't think I really would have wanted to hook up with him at that moment. It just didn't seem like appropriate. Not that I wasn't attracted to him or anything. But yeah, no, like I feel like the hookup culture, especially since starting college, like every single date, every single relationship that I engage in, that is like number one thing.
Guys, let that really sink in. And this is how a lot of these girls are choosing to date. Now, not every single one, obviously, but it's way more prevalent, particularly in the West, that you have just an insane amount of women who their method of dating is to just go out there and chase bad boys and try and get them, you know, try and get the commitment after 15 months of having a situationship with a guy that truthfully they barely even know, and the dude doesn't even care about them. It's really hard to have empathy for these girls, guys, when they get to a particular age and start crying about men, blaming men for their problems, saying that, you know, everything a man does is wrong, when she could have just dated the dudes who are actually interested in her. But the dudes who are actually interested in these women, you know, they're boring, guys, because unfortunately for a lot of them, stability just represents monotony, and that's boring to them. They'd rather chase the guy who's chaotic, who doesn't really want anything to do with her, who she doesn't know where she stands with him, etc.
And it's like, damn, I realized, I was like, I haven't just like had a normal, like, conversational, like, dinner date that didn't go anywhere for a really long time, and that's kind of sad. So yeah, no, I'm gonna sit and like think about it for a while, but for the meantime, I do value this guy, and I'm grateful that he kind of shed some light and gave me some food for thought, and that we're taking things slow. So yeah, no, that was a mindfuck. That was great.
Someone's texting behavior is not an indication of their feelings for you. Story time! And I have more stories like this than anything else, so don't me. When I first moved to LA, I met this guy at my gym, and I didn't know who the fuck he was. Apparently, he was a very well-known dude in our community. And where I lived in Venice, it was a really small area. And we went out to dinner, and we had been texting leading up to it like a decent amount. And we went out to dinner and we had a really, really great time, like super vulnerable, being really honest and open, spending a few hours just laughing and hanging out. Had a cute little kiss session, and he dropped me off home and texted me after. Whoa, that was really fun. I'm so glad I got to meet you and hang out with you. I'd love to see you again. And I was stoked. Of course I was stoked. I was like, yeah, hey, me too. I would love that. My intentions in dating were pretty fucking clear. Like, he was texting me every day, and I started to get to the point where I was like, either we hang out again, we literally live 5 minutes from each other, or not, but I really don't want a pen pal. And he kept saying, yes, 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 let's hang out soon, and maybe, and we'll see. But he kept texting me every day. And so, of course, I was like, all right, well, he must be interested in me. I've made it very clear my intentions, and he keeps texting me every day. Not the fuck case.
This reminds me of like dudes who will become pen pals with women and just give away all their attention and validation. It's really interesting to see it when the roles reverse. This is why I suggest, right, if you're a dude who's out there dating and you know you find yourself in this particular situation, dude, if a girl's like not interested in you, if she's just strict, there's no point becoming pen pals with a lot of these people. It's just a waste of your time as a dude. There's so much better things that you could be doing. But it's really funny when it happens to women, right? When the dude's like, oh yeah, maybe we'll see, because truthfully he isn't that interested. You know, it's kind of funny to see this stuff.
After 3 weeks of this, almost a month, I finally was like, hey, dude, I've seen you once. You text me every day. You're sending me photos. You're constantly chatting. Like, I don't want a pen pal. I'm not really interested in this. Like, let's just be friends.
And I love how this stuff comes up more and more as women get older, by the way, guys. Like, a lot of them, what they do is they start to really push for relationships and, you know, why aren't we seeing each other and why don't you care about me and blah, 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 all of this stuff, particularly as they get older, because they realize that they're running out of time. Now, guys, I'm gonna guess, okay, that this dude is fairly out of this woman's league. You know, she met him at the gym. Sounds like someone that was well known, perhaps had quite a lot of status and whatever. The odds are that this guy had no reason to commit to you at all. He was probably just keeping you on the back burner for when he was bored. Okay, maybe, you know, you don't really know the situation, but he wasn't that interested in you.
He was like, all right, cool, whatever, like little ego bruise, and was just like, no worries, all good. So then I was talking to my friend like a couple weeks later, and I was sharing the story, and she's like, oh God, I never told you my experience with him. And I was like, oh fuck, you dated him too?
Guys, before we continue with the story here, I am never surprised, like, when women create videos and they're like, man, I had no idea that this guy got around the entire town, that he's been with every girl. Typically, yes, they did. They just didn't want to believe it. Like, every time I see a video that's something to the effect of like, oh, I didn't realize he was married, or I didn't realize he had a girlfriend, or all this kind of stuff. Typically, that's actually the reason why the woman was there, because she wants to be the one that beats the other women and gets more attention than the other women. Like, she wants to be the girl that actually steals the dude away and the one that he does things differently for. You guys see what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe it when this girl's like, man, you dated him too. Chances are this woman knew that this guy dated a lot of different women, and that was the reason why she was there, because he was a dude who could get women, you know, he was attractive to other women, etc.
Turns out they had dated like a few months prior. They had been sleeping together for a little over a month, and she's like, we were texting all the time, and we were going out, we were having so much fun. And she's like, and one night I slept over, and then a couple nights later I came back, and as we were hooking up, I look over at the nightstand and I see a pair of gold earrings that were not mine. That was this dude's MO. He would text all day, and because he had painfully low self-esteem and really just wanted the validation and that little dopamine hit, but he was completely emotionally unavailable and had zero intentions of being in a relationship. It has now been almost a year and a half, and the dude is still single doing the same shit.
Yeah, because why would he commit? And make note, guys, it's a year and a half later, and she's making a video about it. Like, truly let that sink in, what these girls are saying on video, okay? This is a girl who met this guy a year and a half ago, and yet she's still here making TikToks about him. Can you imagine if you're a man and you got into a relationship with this woman subsequent to this particular scenario? She's still, like, thinking about dudes that she has no business thinking about. Yeah, the dude didn't want to commit to you. Yeah, he had other women. That's typically the way it goes for the men that a lot of modern women are choosing to select.
And that's my point. Just because someone's texting you all the time doesn't mean that they want a relationship with you. Oftentimes it's because they're bored or they need the validation. And in the same vein, just because someone's not texting you all the time doesn't mean that they don't want something with you. Again, it's about how somebody shows up overall. So this dude texting me every single day, but not making any plans was completely pointless. Similarly, if somebody never contacts you and only plans on their schedule, then yeah, that's not being reciprocal. But it's okay if somebody doesn't text you every single day. Your anxiety needs to be challenged. And no, that doesn't mean that they're not necessarily interested in you, especially if they're asking you out. That just means they have
sorry guys, I'm gonna have to pause the video here because I'm getting a headache. A lot of the times when these women are recording videos, man, I swear they talk faster than me when I've had a ridiculous amount of caffeine or pre-workout. It's actually insane. Like, I have to pause the videos just so I can have a bit of a breather. Okay, but here's the thing. Even if what this woman is saying is correct, which I don't know, I kind of stopped listening the moment she just really went on a ramble there. But even if what she's saying is correct in the last, like, I don't know, 30 seconds, you're giving dating advice on TikTok and you're like, I don't know how old this woman is, but you're still single at your age. Guys, I do not, like, it amazes me how people will get on TikTok for dating advice. Moreover, people get on TikTok to give dating advice, and they're like 35-plus-year-old single women who have just been run along by bad boys their entire lives. You know, like, it's amazing to me.
I'm currently not hooking up with anybody. I haven't hooked up with anybody in 6 months, except one person I did, like, kind of recently. But
wow, look at that. 6 months, and you couldn't even make it 6 months. There are so many men who literally go for significant portions of their life, sometimes even their entire lives, without receiving intimacy from the other gender. And this woman's like, decides to get on TikTok and immediately say, hey, I've been abstinent for 6 months or whatever. And she couldn't even make it 6 months. That's craziness, man.
like, why is it like so shamed? Or like, okay, here's the thing. I was just like, I have a high drive. Like, I am just a woman with a high sex drive, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually quite beautiful. But it's like, I don't want to be just like people, you know what I mean? Like, I'm love my life, but like a lot.
Yeah, so you want to go out there and have your fun, but you don't want the consequences of being unable to find a partner that may find that repulsive. Too bad. Guys, I don't have an issue, okay? If a girl wants to go out there and she wants to live her queen life and, you know, be a boss babe and a queen, whatever, who the hell cares? You go for it. You are liberated. You are empowered. I am a feminist. You know what I'm saying? Like, enjoy yourself, madam. This is what you fought for. You fought for the ability to liberate yourself from the commitment of men. So go out there, enjoy yourself. Just don't expect men to commit to you. Okay, if you want to go out there and engage in hookup culture until you're 45 years of age and find the love of your life, sorry. You know, you make your decisions, cool, but you have to live with the consequences at the same time.
Like, because I don't like to just like hook up with randos, you know, like I really don't like that. I don't do that.
And yet you still do, and you did.
But there's also nothing wrong with it if you want to. I'm just stating my opinion for myself. But like, it's just like, you know, sometimes you're just, I don't know, like I'm with some guys and they just like can't really go many rounds or like can't last long enough, and I'm just like, disappointed because ladies, like, we deserve to have a good we deserve to feel good, we deserve to feel fulfilled and
we deserve. Guys, can you imagine if dudes were walking around with this attitude? Like, there are some dudes who walk around with this kind of like entitlement, but for the most part, can you guys just imagine if dudes walked around like this and just talked all day about what they deserve and how you're entitled to this and that? Like, what on earth is this attitude? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry, guys, but I'm a believer in the fact that people don't deserve anything unless they earn it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get to go into a relationship and demand that your dude make X amount of money and do all this and that for you. What exactly do you bring to that man's life? And typically it's just a whole lot of arguing and, you know, just bullcrap that comes along with it.
completed. Like, why is it always the dude that just like come on, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, no shame in this. Absolutely no shame.
Absolutely no shame, she says. Well, you know, guys, we're going to be leaving today's video there. What a terrible sequence of TikToks, man. Some of these individuals who post these things are just so far gone. I don't even know what to say. Guys, we're going to be leaving it there. Remember to leave your thoughts and your comments. And guys, don't forget to go and subscribe to Detective Warg. He's the guy on the right-hand side of the screen. I'm going to leave his channel linked in the video description. He was the one who put together today's compilation for us to cringe at. So don't forget to show him some love for enjoying that for us to, you know, to enjoy. And we're going to be leaving it there. Guys, take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace. Yo, what is going on, guys? Past Taylor here. Just want to say thank you if you made it to the end of today's episode, and also to say a little bit of an announcement. We are going to be recruiting more members to Fiend Gang, so if this is something that interests you, you want to be a content creator, make sure you check out the link in the video description. It's going to be somewhere near the top. There's one for a creator application, and then also if you're someone who makes music, if you make beats, we're also looking for someone who can make beats for the channel as well. So if either of these interest you, make sure that you check them out. And as always, guys, just again, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you in the next one for real this time. Peace.